Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
General Hospital spoilers reveal that Sonny Corinthos and ADA Justine Turner's pairing may be the show's rearmost romantic bomb. Does the mob master belong back with Carly Spencer? GH Pens have been trying to push Sonny in a new romantic direction for a while now, but it's surely been a challenge. They tried pairing Sonny and Natalia Ramirez over, but Natalia eventually got a fatal exit when that romantic plan flopped hard. Natalia and Sonny just didn't work as an implicit couple, so the show moved on by putting ADA Turner in Sonny's route next. Although Sonny and Justine are colluding against each other under all the flirting, they're still making a connection that'll lead to temptation. It looked like Justine and Sonny might have surrendered to that temptation before the week of November 10th to 14th ended, but no. Justine and Sonny are clearly feeling a spark, but the problem is that numerous observers just don't see it. It doesn't feel like Sonny and Justine are earning veritably numerous suckers on social media so far, since they're arguably mellow and forced as a pairing. Of course, it's possible Justine and Sonny will find their groove ever as this plot moves along, but the situation doesn't look hopeful at this point. It seems like this is a case of another bomb pairing for Sonny that isn't going to last long term. What happens when Sonny and Justine inescapably sizzle out down the road? Will the show try to put Sonny with some other flavor of the month and stopgap for a different outgrowth the coming time around? At some point, GH Pens might delve in and just put Sonny back together with Carly. Love them or detest them, Carly and Sonny have a rich history as well as numerous people they both care about. Sonny and Carly are always going to be connected through their children, so there's a family link then that can't be ignored. Plus, Carly understands how Sonny's world operates and will always have his reverse when it counts. There's no woman on oil who Sonny can trust further than Carly, so perhaps the show will eventually just give up on all these other love interests and reunite them. Carly should find herself single after she brings Jack Brennan down and rejects their romantic future, so perhaps she could ultimately renew her romantic future with Sonny rather. General Hospital spoilers say Sonny should make some updates to his love life sooner or laterally, so stick with us for further news on who he'll end up with. General Hospital spoilers are in for the week of November 17, 2025. Suckers can anticipate Vaughn to return. Jacinda Breckle meets Sonny Corinthos. Plus, what's going to be with Rocco Falconeri's case? Keep reading and let's talk about what's coming up in the ABC Cleaner pieces. Jacinda Breckle and Sonny Corinthos meet. Let's launch off with Jacinda and Michael Corinthos. Despite Jacinda's previous occupation and reproach with Drew Kane, the two have a fake love that might turn real. The two are also each other's defenses in Drew's firing. People have formally advised Michael that this might not be the stylish idea. Still, they've formally gone public. When Michael introduced Jacinda to Christina Corinthos Davis, it was awkward and weird. Next, Jacinda will meet Sonny. Rocco Falconeri's case. There's also Rocco, who exposed himself at the lab to cover Danny Morgan and Charlotte Cassadine. Everyone was allowing Rocco would be facing a misdemeanor. Still, at court, there was a stunner when Justine Turner told the judge there was a lot further damage to the lab than preliminarily allowed. Now Rocco is facing trial and could go to captivity. Lulu Spencer will turn to Carly Spencer. Meanwhile, Dante Falconeri loses his temper. Plus, Giovanni Gio Palmieri confesses to Brooklyn Quartermain. Britt Westbourne vs. Emma Scorpio Drake. General Hospital spoilers for the week of November 17th reveal that Britt Westbourne confronts Emma at the sanitarium. While the council pupil tries to leave, Britt grabs her by the arm. The croaker declares that Emma isn't going anywhere until they get a many effects straight. Beforehand on in the week, Jen Sidwell is left fuming. That same day, Britt issues an claim. Toward the end of the week, Britt gets shaken. Also on Friday, she gets grilled by Jason Morgan. Laura Collins' election results. There's also the election results. Also, the coming day, Laura Collins gets a shock. What differently to anticipate suckers can also anticipate Trina Robinson to consider confessing. Vaughn process Jocelyn Jacks. Jack Brennan questions Carly. Harrison Chase has news for Alexis Davis. Alexis will also modernize Jason. The council will also confer with Felicia Scorpio. So, this is bad news for Portia Robinson. The ever-turning drama wheel of General Hospital is set to spin at a breakneck pace as the week of November 17, 2025, descends upon Port Charles. The air is thick with a potent cocktail of romantic uncertainty, legal peril, and political intrigue, promising to reshape the landscape of the beloved ABC soap opera. At the heart of the unfolding chaos is a question that has plagued fans and characters alike: what is the future of Sonny Corinthos' love life? The latest attempt to pair the formidable mob boss with a new leading lady appears to be on the verge of collapse, signaling a potential return to a classic, albeit complicated, partnership. The Corinthos Conundrum, a romantic ship adrift. For some time now, the writers of General Hospital have been diligently working to chart a new romantic course for Sonny Corinthos. Moving him beyond his deeply entrenched history with Carly Spencer has proven to be a Herculean task. The first major foray into this new territory, a pairing with Natalia Ramirez, ended not just in separation but in tragedy, with Natalia meeting a fatal demise after the couple's chemistry failed to ignite with viewers. It was a clear indication that forcing Sonny into a new box was a risky endeavor. In the wake of that failure, the show pivoted, placing Assistant District Attorney Justine Turner directly in Sonny's orbit. On the surface, they are adversaries. She represents the law he so frequently flouts, and he embodies the criminal element she is sworn to prosecute. Yet, beneath a veneer of strategic flirting and mutual scheming, a connection began to form, a dangerous, tantalizing spark born of shared intellect and a mutual understanding of power. This tension suggested a classic enemies-to-lovers arc was in the works. The week of November 10th to 14th teased a potential surrender to this temptation, a moment where professional boundaries could have dissolved into personal passion. However, that moment did not arrive. While Sonny and Justine undoubtedly feel a certain charge between them, a significant portion of the audience remains unconvinced. On social media platforms, the pairing has been met with a resounding lack of enthusiasm, criticized for feeling bland, forced, and lacking the visceral, electric chemistry that defines Sonny's most memorable relationships. The core issue may be one of authenticity. Sonny Corinthos is a character defined by his passions, his tempestuous emotions, and his fierce, often irrational, loyalties. His pairing with Justine, built on a foundation of manipulation and hidden agendas, feels more like a strategic alliance than a destined romance. It's a calculated game, and for a man who operates so deeply on feeling, such calculation in matters of the heart feels inherently wrong. This leaves the narrative at a critical juncture. If, as it appears, the Sonny and Justine pairing is another short-lived experiment destined to fizzle, what comes next? Will the powers that be in Port Charles continue to introduce a revolving door of potential love interests, hoping that a new face will finally be the one to stick? This flavor of the month approach risks fatiguing the audience and diminishing Sonny's character, reducing his complex emotional journey to a series of forgettable flings. There is, of course, another path, one that many fans have been advocating for all along. The history between Sonny and Carly Spencer is not just a chapter in their lives, it is a multi-volume epic. They share a legacy built on love, loss, betrayal, forgiveness, and an unbreakable, if often infuriating, bond. They are the parents of children they both adore, creating a familial tether that can never be fully severed. More than any other woman in his life, Carly possesses an innate understanding of the complexities and dangers of Sonny's world. She does not shy away from the darkness, she stands beside him in it, her loyalty unwavering when it matters most. In a world filled with duplicity and hidden motives, the trust between Sonny and Carly is a rare and powerful commodity. There is no one he can rely on more. With Carly poised to become single after she successfully brings down the menacing Jack Brennan and definitively rejects any future with him, the stage could be set for a profound reconciliation. Perhaps the writer's prolonged experiment with other pairings will ultimately serve to prove what many viewers have long believed, that Sonny and Carly, for all their chaos, are each other's true north. The show may finally be forced to concede that their dynamic, however turbulent, is the romantic cornerstone that resonates most powerfully with the audience. A week of high-stakes encounters, November 17, 2025. While Sonny's love life remains in flux, the rest of Port Charles is bracing for a week that promises to deliver shocking revelations, heated confrontations, and life-altering decisions. An awkward introduction, Jacinda meets the patriarch. The unconventional relationship between Michael Corinthos and Jacinda Breckle continues to be a source of fascination and concern. What began as a mutually beneficial arrangement, a fake romance designed to provide alibis in the wake of Drew Cain's shocking shooting, is showing signs of evolving into something genuine. Despite warnings from those close to him about the dangers of entangling himself with a woman linked to such a scandal, Michael has pressed forward, taking their relationship public. The awkwardness of this facade was palpable during Michael's introduction of Jacinda to his sister, Christina Corinthos Davis. The encounter was strained, filled with unspoken questions and palpable skepticism. This social minefield is set to become even more treacherous when Jacinda is brought face to face with the patriarch of the Corinthos clan, Sonny himself. This meeting is more than a simple meet and greet, it is a high-stakes assessment. Sonny's approval, or lack thereof, carries immense weight. He is fiercely protective of his family, and his instincts about those who enter their inner circle are sharp. Jacinda's controversial past and her connection to the attack on Drew will undoubtedly be at the forefront of Sonny's mind. This encounter could either legitimize Michael's relationship in the eyes of his powerful father or sound the death knell for it before it even truly begins. A son's peril, the Rocco case erupts. Meanwhile, a different family crisis is unfolding for the Falconeri Spencer clan. What began as a misguided but noble act of teenage loyalty, Rocco Falconeri exposing himself at a lab to protect Danny Morgan and Charlotte Cassadine, has spiraled into a legal nightmare. Initially, the expectation was that Rocco would face a relatively minor misdemeanor charge, a slap on the wrist for a foolish mistake. However, the courtroom became the setting for a devastating bombshell, delivered by none other than ADA Justine Turner. She revealed to the judge that the damage to the lab was far more extensive and costly than initially reported. This revelation instantly escalated the charges, transforming a simple misdemeanor into a serious felony case that now carries the very real threat of prison time. The fallout from this legal escalation will be swift and severe. Lulu Spencer, Rocco's mother, will be thrown into a state of panic and desperation. With her child's future on the line, she will turn to one of the few people in Port Charles who possesses the resources, cunning, and unwavering determination to fight a system stacked against them, Carly Spencer. Carly's experience in navigating Port Charles's most dire crises makes her a formidable ally. Simultaneously, Rocco's father, Dante Falconeri, is pushed to his absolute limit. A man of principle and control, the sight of his son being crushed by the legal machine he has often served will trigger a primal rage. Dante's temper, usually kept on a tight leash, is poised to explode. His anger will be directed at the system, the situation, and likely anyone he perceives as failing to protect his boy. In a related development, Giovanni Gio Palmieri, burdened by guilt or a secret, will confess something significant to Brooklyn Quartermain. This confession could be a pivotal piece of the puzzle, potentially holding the key to lessening Rocco's charges or exposing a larger conspiracy at play. Hospital hostilities, Britt draws a line in the sand. The hallways of General Hospital, typically a place of healing, will become a battleground as Dr. Britt Westbourne confronts Emma Scorpio Drake. The specifics of their conflict remain shrouded in mystery, but Britt's actions leave no room for interpretation regarding her intensity. As Emma, a college student, attempts to leave their conversation, Britt physically detains her, grabbing her by the arm. In no uncertain terms, Britt declares that Emma is not going anywhere until they have resolved their issues. This aggressive posture suggests a deep-seated fury, likely connected to a perceived threat or a grave mistake. Earlier in the week, Jen Sidwell is left fuming, potentially over the same incident, and Britt issues a stark ultimatum. By the week's end, the formidable doctor finds herself shaken, a rare crack in her composed exterior, and is subjected to an intense grilling by Jason Morgan. Jason's involvement signals that the situation is serious, dangerous, and likely tied to the well-being of someone they both care for deeply, pulling the iconic enforcer directly into the heart of the conflict. A city's destiny, Laura Collins's political fate. Beyond the personal dramas, the very leadership of Port Charles hangs in the balance. The results of the mayoral election will be revealed, determining whether Laura Collins will continue to guide the city or if a new era is set to begin. The political race has been fraught with tension, and the outcome will send ripples through every corner of the community. The day after the results are known, Laura receives a shock, the nature of which could range from a personal betrayal to an unforeseen crisis that immediately tests her authority, whether she has retained it or not. Port Charles in brief, a tapestry of turmoil. The interconnected lives of Port Charles residents ensure that no crisis occurs in a vacuum. Several other key storylines will advance during this tumultuous week. A burden of guilt, Trina Robinson, who has been carrying the weight of a heavy secret, will seriously consider unburdening herself through a confession. The moral and emotional toll of her silence is becoming unbearable, and her desire for truth and absolution may finally override her fear of the consequences. A sinister summons, the mysterious and menacing Vaughn returns to the canvas, and his first order of business is to summon Jocelyn Jacks. Vaughn's presence is never a harbinger of good news, and his interest in Jocelyn suggests she is about to be drawn into a dangerous game. The enemy's gaze, Carly Spencer's mission to dismantle Jack Brennan will face a direct challenge as the man himself questions her. This is a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, where one wrong word or glance could expose her plans and put her life in imminent danger. Legal consultations and shifting alliances, Harrison Chase will deliver news to Alexis Davis, the nature of which could be professional or deeply personal. Alexis, in turn, will update Jason Morgan, further solidifying their strategic alliance. She will also confer with the savvy Felicia Scorpio, a move that spells bad news for Portia Robinson. This suggests a legal or personal maneuver is underway that could directly threaten Portia's standing, her family, or her peace of mind.